To begin our alien weaving, we're first going to need to prepare our loom. So to start, we're going to need a ruler that has these little 1/2 inch markings. And I'm going to line it up with the end of my cardboard here. And at each 1/2 inch point, I'm just going to make a little mark. So I'm going to just put a dot here, 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 and all the way across the 1/2 inch marks. And I'm going to do the same thing on the top. Once I have everything marked, I'm just going to turn these into little vertical lines that go straight up. I want them to be about a 1/2 inch tall as well. So it doesn't need to be perfect. Just make sure it's coming up a bit. And we should have 9 altogether. So if you're not sure, then just count to make sure that you have 9. At that point, we can then use scissors to cut on these lines, and you want to go all the way to the end of each line you've created. Once we have all of those marked, we can start warping our loom. That just means putting our yarn here around that loom. So I like to put the cone on the floor, which you can't see, so that I can easily pull it off. And then I'm going to take this piece of yarn and stick it through this first slot on the top right. And I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to make sure that it comes down almost to the bottom of my loom here. And I'm going to use a little piece of tape to keep it in place for now. On that piece of tape, I'm also going to write my name so that I know who to give this back to each week. And I flip it back over, and the only thing I'm going to do to warp my loom here is just make sure that I'm constantly going around my loom in a circular manner, and also going sort of numerically. So I did the first one, then I'm going to go right here and do the second one, and wrap it around to the bottom of the second one here. The third one should wrap down to the third one. I'm going to keep going all the way to the end. When I get to the end here, I'm going to flip this over, and at the very bottom of my loom is where I'm going to cut this off. At this point, I can take this piece of string that I had taped down previously and take it out from under the tape. And then I'm going to use these last 2 pieces here, and I'm going to tie them together in a knot. So I'm going to try to make sure it's really tight. You don't want it to be loose because that'll affect your weaving. So you may need a helper to hold this down while you tie your knot. Okay. All right. And at this point, we're ready to start our weaving.